Hey, welcome to Self-Care Saturday. I'm a couple of minutes early today. Um, I'm grateful to be with you on today. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to come on in. Like, tag, share this video. Let somebody know that it's Self-Care Saturday. Got an interesting topic that I want to share, and I won't be with you long, but I want to give you something to consider and to think about with me in regards to this conversation we're going to have today. Shout out to all of those who have been able to log on with us um, for the past month, to every person that has come on and shared their thoughts and who have been engaged with us. Again, a special shout out to you. Shout out to Lady Carla, wherever you at today, hon. Love you, love you, love you. Welcome, Sylvia. Um, I'm actually out at another engagement, but I paused to make sure that we discuss self-care. And so I need for you to like, tag, and share to somebody. As you can see, I'm shooting from the car today. Shout out to my brother Mike. What's up, man? Good to see you on. I love you. I love you. Again, you want to tune into this conversation today as well. And Mike, it's funny you on because I actually started to do a self-care on brotherhood today and just spend some time talking with the audience about you and Tim today and just sharing, a little bit about us growing up together and those type of things. My zipper broke on me and I'm trying to zip my shirt up, but bear with me. Let me try to fix this up. I guess that's a little better there. But anyway, so I'm glad to have you on with us, Mike. So I won't be on long. And let me just go ahead and preface this conversation by saying that what I want to share today, I do believe I'm going to need more time. I actually may need a panel of men and women to really deal with this topic and discussion. And so I want to just highlight for our audience today, Matthew 5, verse 4. And it simply says, "Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted." So take heed to that scripture today. Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And so we're dealing with grieving today. We're talking about grief. And as I was studying and thinking about how I would share this with the men, I thank God for the women being on as well. And again, if you know of any man, whether it be young, middle age, or older, share the video with them and have them to come on to grab some points from this conversation, have them to come on to listen and also to engage, because we are in tough times, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm praying, always asking God to strengthen us. And so again, shout out to each one of you who are logging on. Some of your names I can see, some that I can't. But so if I miss you, it's not because I don't want to acknowledge you. So to everyone who's on, special shout out to you. So again, I want to talk about a topic that, I want to put this out there. Actually, it just could just be a strong introduction. Hello, Monica. Hello, Tawanda. Hello, Shamita. Glad to have you all on with us. But you do know that this month has been dedicated to men. Special shout out to Don Wright. So every man that comes on, I definitely need to call your name. So shout out to Browntown, Don Wright, to my father, Mr. Sammy Wright Jr. Thank God for him. So I'm talking about grieving. And I was thinking about how women often go through the process of grieving, whether if they lose somebody. And I actually thought about men today in the sense of, well, earlier this week also, but heavily it came upon my heart today about men. And we sometimes don't talk about men grieving losses. And whether that be the loss if they lost a child, if they lost a relationship, if they lost a family member. My heart is open to hear from men regarding this conversation. And me being a man, I too have suffered some things. So regarding grieving. So I want to talk to men. I just want to point something out that men might have a lot balled up in them that you don't know about and that you don't understand. Because so often we're told we got to be strong. We're told that we have to be a man. We're told that we have to almost take on the world by ourselves under this title of being a man. And being a man doesn't mean we don't have feelings. And so, look, you really need to share this video with somebody. And as I said, I can only give a brief introduction to this conversation. But I truly believe you can help me by encouraging someone to dig more into the information or to begin to ask them questions. So thank you again for joining with us. So let me just point this out. There's a physician by the name of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she did a work back in the early days about death and dying. So you can highlight this and look it up online to see. But she describes, welcome, Mr. Keith DeBose. God bless you, brother. So we're talking about, again, men dealing with loss and grieving. Matthew 5:4 is the scripture. Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And so it talks about the various stages of grieving. And first and foremost, as I said, I want to highlight something that Miss Kubler-Ross wrote regarding denying grief. I want to talk to men about denying grief. Denying that you're hurting, denying the fact that you might be suffering from loss. You might be dealing with many things internally that is affecting your self-care. And why I say it's affecting your self-care, because you can't take it on by yourself. You need to know that there is someone there to help. There's somebody there that's willing to pour out a listening ear to you, no matter how painful the situation may be. And ladies and gentlemen, I had an opportunity to have a conversation with a female, and we're just talking about children losing a child, and just the depth of what she shared regarding the loss of a child. I immediately thought about the husband. I thought about the man, because don't get me wrong, women will get that support system, and look, women will pour themselves out. They are not walking around for the most part with that stress. They're not trying to keep themselves isolated, but I was so burdened by what she shared, because my heart immediately went to the man and how he was going to process losing that child. And as I said, so often we rally around the women. Welcome, Minister Wright, Pastor Curry. Good to see you brothers on. We're talking about grieving today. So I want to say again to every man that is on here, this is going to be short and sweet for now. I definitely will do a part 2. I need for you to log in the comment section regarding this conversation, a part 2. This is a brief introduction. I'm in my car, so I really do not have the platform to give you this conversation in a full way that's going to really impact you. But I just want to highlight this. And so there are many men who are in denial that they need to walk through the process of grieving. And as I said, Matthew 5:4 points out that blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And so on tonight, self-care, simply put, is for you to like, tag, share this video. Let a man know. I need for him or you representing him to put need part 2, please. And I'm going to get a panel of people together so we can really discuss and talk about this. I don't consider myself an expert on this topic, and I definitely need to hear from the minds and hearts of individuals about men grieving. Again, I want women to be on this conversation, but I really want to direct the conversation to men of God, men who are not of God, whether you are believing Christian man, believing Muslim man, whatever your faith is. I'm even moving over the boundaries of the lines of faith, because I just want to simply talk to men. And so often we can let even our degrees or belief system get in the way. And shout out to you, Mr. Joseph Carney, Stefan. And so the second stage of grief has to deal with anger. And so some of us as men, we're angry. And again, when a man loses a child, when a man loses a relationship, when a man loses a marriage, when a man loses his home, when a man loses his possession, what do you think is inside of that man? How is that man to deal with life? How is he to deal with coming home every day trying to face his family when he's still suffering that loss on the inside? Shout out to you, Mr. Warren. See you, Tashia. Good to have you on. Third aspect of grief deals with bargaining. I'm just going to highlight these 5 things. Now, it is said, according to grief, that grief deals with about 5 to 7 to even 12 aspects of grief. And so I'm just going to highlight 5 according to Elizabeth Kubler-Ross again. So that's denying grief, having anger when we're grieving, bargaining with grief. And then the 4th stage is dealing with depression. And so often, again, I keep hearing mental health. Men have to make sure we check in regarding our mental health. And so I encourage you tonight, again, and the last piece is dealing with acceptance. And so I need for you, again, find a man, find a person. Please put part 2 in this chat end this broadcast, and I will make sure we will get back and follow up on this conversation. I just needed to highlight those 5. Not a long conversation, but enough to stir your hearts today. Matthew 5:4 says, "Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted." And we want to know, how do we help men get comforted regarding self-care, and also really working out whether or not they're denying their hurts or their pains or their losses. Because, and I'm not just talking about suffering loss in the way of death. I'm talking about in relationship. I'm talking about even by possession. I'm talking also about suffering loss when you can't get a decent job. And so when you are facing, whether it be a job where you are doing exceptionally well, and perhaps they're looking over you, that's a loss when they've looked over you. When people have underestimated your skill set and they have chosen someone above you, over you, or who they think, is more better than you. And so those type of things can take an effect on a man. And so I want to talk to you, wherever you are, man. We want to talk to you. We want to talk to you and help you understand self-care as you are grieving, as you are mourning, as you're going through these things, because so many men turn to so many other ways of trying to deal with their self-care or mourning. And then we find sometimes that we're in a very low place. We're isolated. We're balled up with all of this stuff that we really should let out. And we need a support system. So I'm calling on you, and I'm counting on you to, again, like, tag, share this video, put a part 2 in, and we will get back with you regarding this conversation. So, man, we're looking forward to talking with you about mourning, grieving, suffering loss, but being comforted. And so God does have a plan. And so I need for you to reach out now, do your part, and we'll be back to finish up a part 2 for you. All right. God bless you. Thank you all for tuning in. Love you much. Shout out to each and every one of you. And if there's a man somewhere near you or in your family, encourage that man today. Love him in the Lord and support him, and let him know that if he's mourning, God will send comforting power for his self-care. We'll see you on next week. God bless.